It's time for The Pet Show with America's favorite pet expert, Warren Eckstein. Warren is the author of How to Get Your Cat to Do What You Want and How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. He's here to answer all your pet and animal questions. And now, Warren Eckstein.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Pet Show. Does your Chihuahua have you confused? Is your feral feline in a bit of a funk? Are you really being pushed around by that little pug? Well, if you love animals, care about wildlife and the environment, and I mean really want to learn how to understand your dogs and cats' behavior almost as well as they understand yours, if you're a little confused about your pet's behavior or just want to improve their lifestyle, you know what to do. Stay tuned because once again, right here, right now, it is time for The Pet Show. America's first and only real pet psychology, pet training, pet behavior, and of course, pet lifestyle show. So hop up on my couch. Bring those furry little buddies with you, folks, because it is that time once again to let the animal analyzing begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show, the place where we absolutely, positively, never a doubt about it, love, adore, and as I stress and have been stressing every week for the last 42 years, respect pets and animals as much as you do. By the way, if you want to join me on the Ever-Growing Pet Show family, if you have a question about your dog or cat's behavior, they're jumping, they're chewing, they're humping, they're scratching, they're not using the litter box, they hit your new boyfriend, you take your dog for a walk and he goes absolutely nuts. That's what we do on this show. We help you resolve any issues you may be having with your dogs or cats, or alternatively, any issues your dog or cats may be having with you. So if you have a question or comment about your dog or just want to talk about the weather, you know, in a little while, I'm going to be sharing something that probably no one else is talking about. They touch on it, you know, keep your dog inside, keep your cat inside. But what are the real dangers that can make your pet sick during this rainy, cold weather? I got the answers to that coming up a little bit later, and I will share that with you. And if you live with a dog or cat, you're not going to want to miss that. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of great stuff to give away. If you happen to be new to the Pet Show, we give a lot of stuff away here on this show. A lot of the items I give away we're not talking milk bones, and some of them are worth $25, $35, $45, $50, even more. And one of the reasons I give these away is, first of all, I have amazing sponsors. Many have been with me for almost 30 years. But more importantly than that, is very often the item I'm going to be giving to you is based on the situation you may be having with your dog or cat. So very often the products I use or products I give away will help you resolve any issues you may be having with your dog or cat. So if you have a question or a comment about your dog, want to share a great story, talk about your dog or cat not wanting to go out in the rain, just want to share anything that you want, great time to give me a call. The phone number here on the Pet Show, 866-870 KRLA. That's 866-870-KRLA. Or if you're more of a numbers person, that's 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away. So if you have a question or a comment, or just want to talk about how your dog or cat may be reacting during the storm, I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. As most of you know by now, we're also broadcasting live on YouTube, so you get to see this this mug. So if you want to watch the show on YouTube, or if you want to ask a question on YouTube, you can do that. We're all live right now. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Check it out. I'll try to answer some questions there as well. But as I said, plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. I'd love to hear from some people out there about how their dogs respond during this type of weather. Give me a call. As I said, I would send you, not you, but your dog or cat, a great gift. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 870-5752. And I'll share my own story about my Molly and Willie and how they were not too thrilled about going outside in the weather either. Let me tell you what I have planned for today's show. Lots of good information, plenty of time to talk to you. But as you know, if I don't get to my topics, they'll go up on YouTube after the show. Your calls, your questions, your comments are always my priority. You know, so many times people call me and say, Warren, there's no place else I get the answer to that question. My vet won't be able to answer the behavior question. My trainer can't answer the behavior question. That's why I'm coming to you. So that's what we do here on the show. We really delve into the behavioral issues that you may be having with your dog or cats and help you resolve them in a positive way. No yelling, no screaming, no prong collars, none of that nonsense. A good, positive approach to understanding your dog's and cats' behavior. Again, the number 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Let me tell you what I have planned for today's show. You know, to train your dog properly, you need to understand how to balance the training. Most people don't. Too much or too little. What is the right balance? Coming up, I'll share that with you. And having trained over 40,000 dogs, I got to tell you, I got a good feeling about what you need to do. So are you having the right balance in terms of training? Are you training too much? Are you training too little? Do you know what you're doing? We're going to talk about that coming up a little bit later on today's show as well. I'll share some of my secret approaches also. Also coming up on today's show. Do cats get jealous? Come on now. Do you think cats get jealous? If you're petting your dog and your cat sees you, does he get jealous? If you're hugging a significant other, does your cat get jealous? Is jealousy in your feline's repertoire? Give me a call. Let me know. I will send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also coming up on today's show, this is a topic that I've been talking about for years. I got into trouble years ago when I started doing it. Some states are actually banning dogs from sticking their heads out of the car window when their owner is driving. You heard me right. Some states are actually banning dogs from sticking their heads out of the car window when their owner is driving. I totally agree. Do you agree or disagree? Give me a call. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I'll share my thoughts coming up a little bit later. And if you happen to be a neat freak, which by the way, I'm not, but if you happen to be a neat freak, a new study, I hate this study, but a new study suggests the cleanest dog breeds for neat freak parents. So if you're one of those people that's a neat freak, well, there's a list of dog breeds that maybe you should consider. I don't know if I agree with it. When I share the list, I want to hear from you guys as well. And also, my very, very special rain, rain can present some real health and safety problems for our dogs. You know, we all talk about, well, the dog doesn't want to go out in the rain. I can't take the dog out because it's raining outside. And it sounds like a nuisance. And it may be a little bit of a nuisance, but sometimes taking your dog out in the rain can be life or death. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, and I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of how your dogs respond when you take them outside. So my rain special coming up in a little while as well. As always, plenty of time for your questions and comments. Lots of amazing stuff to give away. So if your dog or cat happens to be chewing, jumping, maybe they're confused about the litter box, maybe that dog that you rescued is not housebroken, maybe they're suffering from separation anxiety, your feral feline's depressed, your dog is chasing anything that moves, hates other dogs and some people, cat scratched your favorite chair, and your dog is humping everything that moves and a few things that aren't. Great time to give me a call. I really would like to hear from some people out there in terms of how their dogs reacted to the rain, the snow. Did anyone have any thunder? I had no thunder. We just had incredible winds here in Santa Monica, which kind of freaked Molly and Willie out. So were there thunderstorms? How did your dog react to the first time? Maybe they saw snow. A lot of dogs saw snow for the first time. Give me a call. I want to hear from you. Your stories can really make a difference in how other people may react. So great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Also coming up on today's show, I have put together such a show for you guys, you are not going to believe it. You might think you know about fleas. You just might think you know about fleas. But coming up on today's show, I am going to teach you everything you need to know. For example, did you know the average flea can accelerate 50 times faster than the space shuttle at takeoff? Think about that. And you're going to try to stop fleas in your house? Not unless you follow my approach. Again, The average flea can accelerate 50 times faster than the space shuttle after takeoff. Imagine that. And check out this. If you look at your dog or cat or yourself, and I've been infested with fleas many times in my life, flea saliva is actually considered the most irritating substance on the planet. Flea saliva. Great time to give me a call. Plenty of time for your calls. As I said, lots of pretty amazing stuff to give away. The question of the day, I'll send you a great gift even if you just want to answer the question. I talked about this years ago. Actually, I talked about it when I was doing the David Letterman show many years ago, and they thought I was absolutely insane for many reasons. But do you believe that dogs and cats can really feel jealousy? Can your dog or cat really be jealous? I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. Lots of great stuff to talk about. In fact, a little bit later on the show, I'm going to be talking about whether or not, because I'm kind of sick and tired of people saying that dogs are more affectionate than cats. So I'm going to toss it out to you guys as well. Do you believe that dogs are more affectionate than cats? Or are my cat guardians out there going to hop on the phone and give me a call and say, Warren, our cats are just as affectionate as dogs? Give me a call. I'll send you a great gift. I got some kitty lickies to give away. I got Hugs and Kisses supplements to give away, copies of my best-selling books, Lucy Pet Food, those incredible T-shirts that say none of my friends walk upright. So everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live on the air today will, in fact, get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. So the question is, can our dogs and cats really be jealous? Some people say no. Some people say yes. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on today's show. Also, I put together some small happinesses that only a dog lover will understand. Certain things that your dog does that just make you melt. We're going to talk about that. Lots of good stuff coming up on today's show. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. But really important coming up. I take a break. When I come back, I'm going to get to you, Bill. Don't worry. I really want to spend some time, or maybe I'll hold off a little bit, but I want to really focus on the dangers of rain. I know what you're saying. Come on, Warren, we live in Southern California. How often does it rain? It's been raining an awful lot lately, and it only takes one rainstorm to be really dangerous for your pet. So we're going to talk about that. But again, I'd love to hear from some of my listeners. Anybody out there have a dog that saw snow for the first time in its life? How did the dog react? Give me a call. Let me know. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. And if you want to see the face behind the microphone, looks pretty good today. I actually shaved. If you see the face behind the microphone, you can actually ask me some questions as well. We're broadcasting live on YouTube also, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I'm going to take a break. Great time to give me a call with a question or comment, or just to answer the question of the day. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Interesting. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Hopefully someone's going to call, because someone texted me this week, and we told them to give me a call, so I wanted to spend more time talking about the resolution for their problem. So many times this week, I got texts and emails, but from people that love animals, people in rescue, saying we adopted this dog, and the person's had the dog for like 7 days, and the dog did this or the dog did now, and now they want to get rid of the dog. We're going to talk about people that adopt the dog and what they should know and what they should understand and what they should anticipate when a new dog or cat comes into their home. So great time to call me, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. As I said, plenty of time for your calls, lots of great stuff to give away. Everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me live will get a fabulous gift. Not for you, but for that beautiful dog or cat looking up at you with those adoring eyes. All right, a quick break, then right back to your calls. Great time to call me when I do go to commercials. Listen, the most important No more monkeys on the bed. Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. That phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Can dogs and cats be jealous? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Hey, before I get to you, Bill and Peter, I just want to share this with you. You know, I've been talking to pet guardians for well over 50 years, and I'm really kind of tired of people saying that dogs are more affectionate than cats. You know, and for those few cats who never come around to becoming fully conversant with or accepting of lap sitting or cuddling, remember, that apparent shortfall does not necessarily mean they have no affection for you. Just like with people, some cats simply show their affection in other ways. So just because your dog shows affection in one way doesn't mean your cat isn't as affectionate. Maybe the cat is showing its affection in a different ways. Take the time to understand before you say things like, well, dogs are more affectionate, cats aren't affectionate, cats aren't as smart. I say nonsense, having worked with both for many, many, many years. What do you say? What do you say? Are dogs more affectionate than cats? Are cats more affectionate than dogs? On my Facebook page, it seems like a lot of the people felt that cats are not as affectionate as dogs. Boo! What do you think? Give me a call, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Hey, Bill in Garden Grove, welcome to the Pet Show.
Oh, hey, Warren. I have a small question, a quick question, and then a little riddle for you.
I'm ready.
First of all, is there any, you talk a lot about rescues and shelters. Are they the same thing?
Not necessarily. A lot of the shelters are generally run by the cities, the towns, the counties. In some states, there's a state runs them. Where rescues, for the most part, are generally run by groups of people that are absolutely incredible animal lovers. They don't get no money from the state, no money from this. Their money is based on donations. So the shelters and some rescues have shelters. I don't know if they call them shelters, but some rescues have them. But the main difference is rescue people are working out of their own pockets, spending their own money, saving as many dogs as they possibly can save. Most rescues I work with are totally no-kill compared to shelters which say they are, which may not be true. So the bottom line is that's pretty much the difference. Rescues are pretty much funded by you and me making donations and people that volunteer, where shelters are run by the city, state, or county. I hope that answers it a little for you.
So you might suggest a rescue before a shelter?
You know,
you have to do your homework.
Well, that's a great question. In other words, generally the rescues have foster homes, and they try to find these homes for as many animals as they can. So very often when people say, should I go to a rescue, should I go to a shelter, you know, so many dogs are killed at shelters and never receive homes. And if you can get a dog out of a shelter, and that's what rescues do, by the way. So many of the amazing rescues I work with go into the shelters, take the dogs out of the shelters, foster them, and keep them until they can find a good home. So it's always a good idea if you can get a dog out of a shelter to get the dog out of the shelter, including my two, Molly and Willie, were taken out of a county shelter here in Los Angeles. So I always advocate, if you can, take them out of a shelter, but the rescues do amazing work, and if you can donate to them, that's where my money would go.
Okay, very good. And here's my little riddle for you. Okay, if Apple Corporation created an animal in New York, what would it be?
If Apple was going to develop an animal...
If Apple Corporation created an animal in New York, what would it be?
I hope it would be something that would eat all those New York politicians. That's kind of what I'm hoping they would.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
It would be an eye-deer.
An eye-deer. Why am I not getting this?
Well, you're always asking your listeners to share their ideas.
See? I'm not a great... Listen, you can speak to my wife. I'm the worst riddle person in the world. But now I get it.
Okay.
Now I get it. So
Maybe it wasn't that good of a riddle.
No, it was good. It was good. I'm just a little slow. I'm on zero sleep. I was up with the dogs all night. Molly and Willie went out. They came in. They went out. They came in. They went out. They came in. So I'm a little blurry-eyed on top of
my cats were a little crazy with the rain, too.
By the way, most people know I only drink decaf coffee. I'm on my third cup of caffeinated coffee today, so if I sound a little speedy, you guys know why. So what type of pets do you have?
Okay.
What type of pets do you have?
Okay, well, thank you very much.
No, what type of pets do you have, Bill?
I have 3 cats.
3 cats. I am going to put you on hold for that lovely riddle, and I'm going to send you some kitty lickies for your pet. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. That's how easy it is. Give me a call. If you speak to me directly or just answer my question, a great gift will be on its way to you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Peter, don't go in there. I want to hold your call for a while because I really want to delve into it with you. But it is a great time to give me a call. Plenty of time for your calls. Lots of great stuff to give away. Here's some more flea facts that you might be aware of. Did you know that a flea, now listen to me carefully, a flea can jump 150 times their length? That would be the equivalent of you or I jumping 1,000 feet. So if you think it's easy to get rid of fleas, it's not. But I'm going to give you some things that you need to do a little bit later, my ultimate guide to getting rid of fleas, and it's possible. And here's something that ought to make you think twice. The average female flea can produce over 200,000 eggs in less than 60 days. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. The question of the day, can dogs and cats really be jealous? But I'm going to toss that on a little bit to cat people too. I'm tired of it. I've been doing this for years, and I've worked with probably more dogs than cats, but tons of cats as well. And I really don't think there's any difference in the affection between dogs and cats. I believe, just like with people, that there are different ways that people actually show their affection. Listen. I'm going to share this with you. I grew up in New York. I know you'd never know, but I grew up in New York. And when I would meet a friend of mine in New York, we'd shake hands, maybe do a high five. Then I moved to Los Angeles. Everybody hugs out here. It took me almost 20 years to figure out what these hugs were all about. Just that I've never been hugged. The people I grew up with in New York, the people I knew in New York, yeah, granted, some of them are mafiosos, but the people I knew, they just didn't hug. I moved to Los Angeles, and man, I am hugging every single day. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Peter, we're going to get to you. Great time to call me. I got some hugs and kisses to give away, Lucy pet food, copies of my best-selling books, natural flea spray T-shirts. Great time to call me. Many of the items, as I said, thanks to my sponsors, are worth as much as $50. So just give me a call if you have a question or a comment, or you just want to share a story about how your dog reacted in the rain or the snow. I also like to hear from some people in terms of whether they believe that dogs and cats can really get jealous. If you're with your dog and cat and you go to hug your husband, how does your dog react? You go to hug your wife. If you have several dogs in the house, I have Molly and Willie. If I go to hug Molly, how does Willie react? If I go to hug Willie, how does Molly react? Are they jealous? Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. I'll send you a great gift. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then we're going to come right back to Peter. We want to make sure our dogs and our cats stay healthy. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Kind of unusual. I got a couple of phone lines open. It's pretty rare here on the Pet Show, so it's a great time to call me. If you have a question or a comment, want to answer my question, can our dogs and cats be jealous? Or how your dogs and cats reacted in the weather, the snow, the rain, give me a call, and a great gift will be on its way for you. As I said, I got a lot of great stuff to give away. Hugs and Kisses, Arthrosuit Gold for hips and joints, my own Kitty Lickies, copies of my best-selling books, lots of great stuff, Lucy Pet Food. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. I'll get right to you, Peter, in just a second. One state is now banning dogs from sticking out their heads out of car windows. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good idea? You think it's a bad idea? I mean, it's always kind of cute to see a dog with his head out of the window, but is it safe? Is it dangerous? Do you think dogs should be allowed to stick their head out of the windows when you're driving? Tossing out a lot of questions for you guys today, so if you have an answer, a great time to give me a call. How do you feel about dogs sticking their heads out of car windows? And I'm going to tell you about one state that's going to make it totally illegal. But right now, let me go to my friend Peter in Alhambra. Hey, Peter, welcome to the Pet Show.
I have a couple things I want to tell you. First of all, I want to thank you very much. You were talking about the dogs in Germany and that they all wanted to jump over the wall, and that one dog decided to walk around the wall.
Yeah, that was the standard poodle, yeah.
Oh, I just laughed so hard. I'm thinking to myself, you know, that dog, he's looking around and he says, screw this, why are you guys working so hard?
Yeah, and that's what amazed me, because I'm with all these PhD trainers from the University of Frankfurt and the police department, the Polizei, and they're all saying, look at that stupid dog, he didn't go over. And I'm saying, stupid. He walked around, got the same reward. Why would he go over the wall? They thought I was crazy.
I think that's hilarious. Okay, now, I want to tell you about a turtle. We went to the St. Louis Aquarium about a year ago or 2 years ago, and they had this turtle in the aquarium. His name was Franklin the turtle. Anyway, I just laughed so hard because the girl said he's very photogenic and very friendly. So he comes up to the little gate, to the little fence, and this boy was going to take a picture of him. And I swear, Warren, he stuck his head out, way out, and he posed for the boy. You know, I just got a kick out of that.
I am absolutely not shocked by that. Having worked, with a lot of different animals in my life, it's amazing how instinctive they are. It's like they know things that we think they don't know. That's the best way I can put it. Our dogs, our cats, our tortoises, our turtles, whatever animals, they know things that we don't know, and they react accordingly. So I'm sure that the turtle said, you know what? Here's my better profile, dude. Take the picture now.
I just thought that was so adorable. But again, I want to thank you for that story about the dog. I've been telling everybody about that. I just got such a kick out of that. Like I said, I'm just thinking to myself that poodle. He's saying, "Hey, you dummies! I'm just gonna walk around and get my food."
It's like the person who steps in the puddle rather than walking around. As a matter of fact, a little bit later on today's show, hopefully I'm going to get a chance to get to it. I'm going to talk about training and how people misunderstand training. Sometimes they overdo it. Over-educating your dog can be just as bad as under-educating your dog and cause a lot of problems for them as well. Anyway, Peter, what kind of pets do you have now?
Okay, I don't have any pets. I had a dog, and we had to have him put down. This was many years ago. His name was Tubby. But anyway, Warren, about the jealousy. I have a cousin in Michigan who's got two, I think, brother and sister Jack Russell Terriers. And I remember I got along very well with them. I remember one I was petting, and the other one ran so fast to me. The other one wanted to be petted too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
very jealous.
It's amazing. I've seen dogs reacting. They've been around us for so long. It's kind of interesting that a lot of people just assume that animals can't be jealous, and there's nothing further from the truth.
No, they are. You know what I'd love to have? I'd love to have one of those T-shirts. None of my friends walk upright.
Well, none of my friends do, so I'm going to put you on hold right now. Peter, thanks for the call, and a T-shirt is on its way to you. 866-870-KRLA. Great time to call me. Usually it's tough to get through to the Pet Show, but we've got some great stuff to give away. If you're new to the show, many of the items I give away are worth as much as $50. Hugs and Kisses supplements, Arthur Gold, so it's a great time to call me. A couple of questions out there. Anything you guys want to talk about? I want to talk about the weather, how your pets are reacting in the weather. Coming up, I'm going to give you some really, really important information that a lot of people don't know, how dangerous taking your dog outside in the rain is. Of course, you have to do it, but if you follow the rules, not the rules, but the information I'm going to share with you, it can make it a safe trip for everyone out there. So give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. So jealousy whatsoever. People create the problem. People create jealousy among animals. I think they create it among people as well. So that's part of it. Do you believe animals can get jealous? Give me a call. I would love to hear from you. Also coming up, and I'm so interested. I'm just want to share this with you guys. I'm going to wait a little bit longer though. But it's incredible to me. Rain can present some real health and safety problems for dogs. There are dangers you really need to look for. Now you can watch TV. I was watching Channel 5 and Channel 7 and Channel 9, and they do some great reporting. Keep your dogs inside. Don't let them stay outside too long. Make sure they stay inside at night. All really important information. But the bottom line is no one is touching the information I'm going to be sharing with you in a couple of minutes in terms of the real dangers and things you need to know, things you would never think about in terms of just taking your dog out for a walk in the rain. We live in California. It doesn't rain that much. Now, I spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia with dogs, and I got to tell you, it rains an awful lot there, and I learned a lot. I also grew up on Long Island where it rains pretty much too, and I learned a lot as well. So there are many dangers out there. For example, low visibility. Who would ever think low visibility is dangerous for a dog? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later on today's show. Again, that number 866-870-KRLA. I want to hear from you guys about this window thing. Nothing makes me crazier than watching people driving with a dog on their lap, sticking their head out of the window. Worse than that is even in the back of a pickup truck, which is illegal in most states. But one state is actually going to be banning dogs sticking their head out of the window. I think it's a great idea. Give me a call. Let me know what you think about it. I'd love to hear from you. 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. That is the way to get through. And we're also going to go over a list of things that only dog guardians would understand that make them happy. For example, you get to wake up with someone who's always excited to start the day. Who else? Significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend. They may love you, but they're always so happy when you get up in the morning. Your dog or cat is always excited when you get up. And one of the things that really, I'm trying to think of the Yiddish word for it, plots, I guess. Plots, I will break, Alec. I heard you, Alec. Alex is yelling at me, by the way. I will break in a second. But knowing how your dog reacts to other dogs at dog parks make you feel like a proud parent. It does me. Anyway, give me a call, 866-870-KRLA. Quit throwing stuff, Alex. 866-870-5752. A quick break, then right back to your phone calls. Back on the Pet Show, I'm Warren Eckstein. Phone number 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA. Florida, the state of Florida is going to be banning dogs sticking their heads out of car windows. Dogs may be transported in any motor vehicle while secured in a crate that's appropriate size, safely restrained with a harness and a pet seatbelt. Now, there are many dangers that people don't realize. I think it's cute seeing a dog with their head out of the window. It's dangerous. They're always at risk, especially for small dogs, that animals may fall out of the car in an accident or if you have to jam on your brakes. Having their head outside of the car window, dogs may also be exposed to debris, dust, rocks, bugs, infections that could damage their eyes and injure them permanently. So keep your dog's heads in the window. My friend Pam wrote me, and I've talked about this many times. They do have items on the market. One kind of looks like an expandable screen that you can put in the window so the air can come in, but at the same time the dog can't stick his face out. There's lots of items like that, but sticking their head out of the window, definitely a no-no for our dogs. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Bill. Hey, Bill, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Warren?
I'm doing good, Bill. How you doing?
Good. I had just a kind of a kooky question. My wife loves collies, and she wants to adopt one because I do know that there are rescue collies. You know, people that have had maybe a dog a couple years and it's grown a little bit too big, but they're wonderful animals. Any suggestion on how to approach a situation where I could adopt a collie, or some situation where I could find a location where it's like a collie rescue or something?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to approach it. I don't really know because there's not that many collies around, but I'm a big fan. I was talking about this last week. Dogs I worked with in the 70s and 80s. So many collies. There were, the collies come in the long hair. Collies come in the short coated as well. Great breed of dog, very intelligent. I'm a big fan of collies. There's a couple of ways to approach it. I'm not familiar right off the bat with a collie rescue here in Southern California. I'm sure there is. And I'm sure by the end of the show, someone's going to call me, so keep listening. However, what you can do now, if you go to Collie Rescue of America or America Collie Rescue, they will give you a list of different collie. If you go to, here's what you do. Go to the Collie Club of America or the American Collie Club. When you go there, they will. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I've had both short hair and long hair. They're absolutely wonderful pets. They're very loyal. Great animals, but just sometimes people have the need to get rid of the dog because they're moving or it's just
these are people that should have never had a dog to begin with. So these dogs are great, and I love the fact that you want to adopt one. I'm hoping you can adopt something a little bit older would be great as well. So go to the Collie Club of America or the American Collie Club. Everyone calls themselves different. Usually those club sites have a list of national rescues, and then they will give you a list of local rescues in the area. But in the meantime, if anyone knows of collie rescue specifically here in Los Angeles, I'm sure there's a half a dozen of them. I just don't have them in front of me. Give me a call or send me an email, and I'll share that with you a little bit later on. But I think it's a great breed of dog, and I think the fact that you and your wife want to rescue a collie, super. Listen, who can forget Lassie? We all grew up with Lassie.
But
when I was growing up, it was. Yeah, when I was growing up, it was Lassie. Someone's handing me a piece of paper, so let me see if I got it here. If you go to collie.org? Here's what you can do. Denise just handed me a sheet of paper here. It says go to southlandcollierescue.org. That's Southland.
Collierescue.org. That's the name of the group.
Oh, it's collierescue.org, but it's South.
Collie.org.
Okay, it's collie.org.
Right, but for Southland Collie.
For Southland Collie Rescue. So that's where you want to go, collie.org. And give me a call back. I want to hear how you make out with that.
Very, very excited that we can get something at least started with some of your listeners giving us a hand, and also your staff. But thank you for doing such a wonderful job on the radio. You answer a lot of questions, and God bless you for what you do.
Well, listen, don't go anywhere, Bill, because I'm going to put you on hold. And what we're going to do is I'm going to send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. So from the minute this adopted dog comes into your home, you know exactly what you want to do and what you need to. And by the way, let me just say this for the record, and I got to take a break. I know, Alex, I'll get to you, David. I'll get to you, Jan. I'll get to you, Kelly. I've had at least 4 calls this week of people that have adopted a dog. They've had the dog for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 7 days, and they're already ready to give up the dog. What are these people thinking? What are these people thinking? You need to make sure you give the dog the opportunity or the cat the opportunity to decompress. You don't know what this poor dog or cat went through at its last home. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Phone number here, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. Quick break, then right back to your phone calls. Hey, we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Here's the deal. Kelly, I want to get to your call definitely. David in Irvine, Jan in Claremont. We got a break for the top of the hour. Just for a couple of minutes, you'll come back. I'll send you some great gifts. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. The question of the day is, do you believe that dogs and cats, in fact, can be jealous? That's one of the questions. We're also going to talk about, I am going to give you things that you've never heard before about the dangers of rain. I know you think you live in California, but did you think it was going to rain like this? It did. Some great information coming up. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. I'm Warren Eckstein. You're listening to The Pet Show.
Warren Eckstein, the man for your pets. We tried to stumble, but we haven't yet. Your dog is barking, your cat missed the box. Your ferret's chewed up all your favorite socks. He sure knows how to get inside your pet's head. But maybe it's you who needs to be trained instead.
And welcome back to the Pet Show. I am Warren Eckstein. Great time to give me a call. If you love animals, want to find out why your dog or cat behaves the way they do, have a question about their behavior, want to resolve an issue, they're jumping, they're humping, they're digging, they're scratching, they're eating too much, they're not eating enough, they don't like your new boyfriend, they hate your mother-in-law, great time to give me a call. Everyone that calls and gets to talk to me live on the air will get a fabulous gift for their dog or cat. If you're new to the show, many of the items I give away are worth as much as $35, $45, even $50, and many of them are used as a gift because it will help resolve the issue that you're calling me about. So everyone that calls in and gets to talk to me will get one of these great gifts for their dog or cat. Lucy Pet Food, Authors Who Gold, copies of my best-selling books, Hugs and Kisses. You heard me give away a T-shirt or two. Great time to give me a call. The phone number here at the Pet Show, 866-870-KRLA. 866-870-5752. David, Jan will get to you, but right now let's go to my friend Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey there. How are you doing?
I am doing great. How about you?
Good. So I just have a quick comment about the dogs out the windows, out the head, their heads out the window.
Yeah.
And I think it's not whoever was thinking to ban that isn't thinking. Dogs clearly love it. I get it, not to just let them on their own free will stick it out, have somebody there, guarding. But at the end of the day, they clearly love it, or they wouldn't be doing it.
So your approach. Your American Medical Association is going to listen. I'm not going to, it's up to you what you want to do. I'm just one of those people that believes that, there are certain things my dog loves to do. There are certain things he actually enjoys to do, but there are things that I can't let him do because it's just a little bit too dangerous for them. But I understand where you're coming from. I'm just gonna tell you that I would never, ever, ever let my dog stick their head out of the car window unless I had a barrier there, based on the fact that the statistics show that so many dogs do, in fact, get eye infections and injured eyes. Phone call. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I love Kelly, and I know she thinks that the dog enjoys it. It's just like the people that say, well, my dog loves to walk off a leash. She never goes in the street except that one time. 866-870-KRLA. Let's go to, who's up next here? Let's go to David with an interesting call. Hey, David. Welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fabulous today.
The dogs in the cars, not so good. Number two, no Suzette. What the hell? Some guy.
She's allowed to take a day off, isn't she? Come on now.
The real thing is my cat is alpha over my dog, and I've had them for both 12 years, and she will displace the dog on my lap.
So then you believe, David, that cats are pack animals?
No, I believe
that's what an alpha is all about. An alpha is in charge of the pack. So by calling a cat,
I meant what I meant was dominant.
There you go. A whole different ball game. A whole different ball game. It's some cats are going to be more dominant, and some dogs are going to be more dominant, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're alphas.
Okay, let's move on to a real question. How do I get my dog to understand how to walk under an umbrella?
The first thing it's kind of interesting that you brought that up. When I was training in Europe, and I trained in many countries in Europe, one of the tests to see if a dog was going to make a good protection dog or a good military or Polizei hunt dog was to use the umbrella test. We had to get the dog to the point where if an umbrella popped in front of them, they wouldn't react to it. That's how the dog was judged. However, this is a different ballgame. What I would do, if you want to get your dog used to an umbrella, I would figure out what umbrella you want to use. I would take that umbrella, put it alongside his food dish, let him see it, move it away. I would put it alongside of him when you're giving him a treat. I would take him for a walk with the umbrella, closed, not opened up. Then
this isn't a scare thing. This isn't a food thing. This is how do you teach a dog who has like 3 days worth of exposure during the year in SoCal, how to walk under an umbrella so it doesn't get totally wet.
Well, that's what I was just explaining to you. Let's get the dog used to the umbrella first. Once the dog is adjusted to what... Listen to me. Once the dog is adjusted to the umbrella, And it doesn't have to be raining for you to adjust the dog to an umbrella. Once a dog is used to the umbrella and has no fear or anxiety with the umbrella, the 3 or 4 days that it rains in Southern California, he's not going to be afraid because you practiced the umbrella with him when it wasn't raining. Bottom line is, let me share my experiences with you in terms of resolving some of the questions you're asking. You're not an idiot at all. You asked a really legitimate question. How do I get my dog used to an umbrella? Well, the way you get the dog used to an umbrella is getting him used to it when it's not raining. If you get the dog used to walking,
used to it so much is like learning to walk under it. It's not.
well, you practice walking with him under the umbrella when it's not raining. Be consistent.
Okay, that's I think the key. I'm so dense sometimes. Thank you.
David, I adore you. Anyway, I'm going to put you on hold, David. I'm going to send you for your dog. You know, you need a lot of help, David. I'm sending you a copy of my book, How to Get Your Dog to Do What You Want. Whew. Every once in a while, I break a sweat. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let's see. God. Let's go to Ann in Los Angeles. Hey, Ann, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. And regarding what this woman said, well, you should let your dog do what it wants to do. A couple weeks ago, they showed on the news, on TV, where a little white dog jumped out of the window onto the freeway. And luckily, everything turned out okay. But they were able to get the little dog back into the car, and it wasn't injured. They were just lucky for that. And as far as debris is concerned, I got a piece of debris in my eye the other day when I was walking, when it was windy, and I had glasses on. And that was painful. I splashed water in my eyes, and I couldn't get it out. I had to, finally, after 2 days, buy some eye wash to get it out.
Yeah,
so
no,
it can harm their eyes.
Well, absolutely, and you know, I'm just sharing the information from years of knowledge and sharing information from the veterinary medical associations all over the world, pretty much, that all agree that dogs should not be allowed to stick their heads out of the window. As a matter of fact, a lot of places say the dog needs to be tethered when it's in the car, because if you have to jam on your brakes, the dog becomes like a projectile. That's why doggy seatbelts, and you know, I'm not a big crate fan, but I think everyone should have a carrier in their car that's secure so they can transport their dog safely. And so I was a little confused by that.
Or if they just have the window open a crack.
But there are great items. There are great items on the market. I've used them and I've seen them. It kind of looks like, how can I describe it? It kind of expands and it slips over the window. So when you roll the window up, the window's only a quarter of the way up. The air's coming in, but the dog cannot stick his head out because of the expandable. So that's what I would recommend.
All right.
So
thank you, Warren. I just want her to know that this does happen, where dogs do jump out the window. Absolutely.
It happens more often than people want to think, especially, you know, car accidents and other things like that. So what type of pets do you have, Ann?
I have cats.
You have cats. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, and I am going to send you, for your cats, what do I want to send you? I almost send you some kitty lickies as well. Kitty lickies, I'm giving away like crazy. All right, listen, I got to stop here for a second. And let me tell you why. I want to talk about the rain. Alex, do I have a minute or two to talk about the rain here? Okay. Number one, when it's really coming down, drivers who can't see well are at major risk for hitting your dog or cat. Dogs may be spooked by the rain or by thunder and lightning, and this might make them run out into the street. So that's number one, low visibility on a leash. Anything metal might attract lightning, including an umbrella. Something else you should take into consideration. Let me go further. Here's the real important stuff. Some dogs love to splash in puddles, while others might walk through the unavoidable. In any case, a dog who comes into contact with standing water is potentially introducing himself to a variety of dangerous bacteria. Puddles can also be dangerous if toxins like motor oil, lawn chemicals have spread to the puddles during rainfall coming off of people's lawns. One of the first things you should do when your dog comes in, if it's wet outside, is, well, they recommend soaking his feet in diluted antiseptic. Just wipe them off. There are doggy wipes on the market. Wipe off their feet. Some people recommend using a little Scope or a little Listerine. Their feet will smell good. That'll help as well. And here's something that no one's talking about. If dogs are exposed to wet, cold weather for too long, their respiratory tract can become inflamed, which may lead to pneumonia. This is especially true for older and younger dogs, as well as any whose immune systems are compromised. So that's just some of the most important things. A lot of people, the dog will get wet. Pneumonia, disease, bacteria, these are all dangers, especially more so right here in Southern California because it doesn't rain that often. So when it does rain, all of that stuff washes into the streets. Your dog walks through those puddles. He gets it on his feet. He licks his paws. He gets sick. These are things that I think about. Hopefully, sharing this information saves some dogs out there. Let me do this. Let me take a quick break here. When I come back, we have Kim, we got Ruth, we got Ronnie, we got Gloria, we got Jan. We'll get to all your calls. 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. Also coming up on today's show, we're going to take a look at training too much or training too little. Either one can be a big problem. 866-870 KRLA, the phone number. A quick break, then right back at you. Listen, if you Hey, we're back on the Pet Show. I got the phones a jam, and I want to get to all your calls. So, one of the most important things we talk about when you live with a dog or cat is fleas. They're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I gave you some specific examples, like flea saliva being the most irritating substance, how fast they can fly, how much they jump. Anyway, here's the bottom line. I'm not going to have time to go over the entire flea protection for your dogs or cats. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I already posted a video there. It'll take you to every single thing you need to know about having a flea-free a pet. Just go to youtube.com/Warren Eckstein, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. Check out the, I just posted it on everything you need to about fleas. If you have a dog or cat, you need to know everything about fleas. That being there. Also coming up a little bit later, someone put together a list of dog breeds for neat freak pet parents. They say these dog breeds are cleaner than other dog breeds. We'll take a look at that. We'll see if I agree or disagree. The phone number, 866-870-KRLA, 866-870-5752. We are going first to Gloria. We got Ronnie, we got Ruth, we got Joy, we got Kim, but right now it's Gloria. Hey, Gloria, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, can you hear me?
I like you next to me, Gloria. What's up?
I have a dog, a cockapoo. It's a little over a year old. And since I got him, he goes through everything, my sheets, my pillows. I get him toys every week, and he rips them all up. He tries to get the stuffing out, and I don't know what to do to get him to, I don't care the toys, but I mean, I went through 3 sets of sheets on my bed and pillows too.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. What type of dog did you say it was?
It's a cockapoo.
A cockapoo. One of the original breeds, designer breeds, the cockapoo. That's number one. Number two, is this a rescue dog?
No, I paid $3,000 for it, and I did a DNA, and it's not a total cockapoo.
So you got him, yeah. All right. Listen, I wish people wouldn't buy their dogs from that way, but you did. You have the dog, so what do you do right now? Let me ask you a question. Did you buy this dog from a breeder, or was he shipped to you from the breeder?
No, I brought it. My son found it on the internet, and he went to meet the guy in a parking lot to buy the dog.
Gosh. All right, so let's not go over that. We should never do that again. First of all, the dog's a little bit older now. It's a year and a half old. There are 4 basic reasons why dogs chew. It could be that they're teething, probably not at this age. It could be that they're bored, not getting enough mental stimulation, or in rare cases, it could be something called pica, where they have this bizarre craving to chew on things. Generally speaking, the best way to resolve a chewing problem is, number one, to increase the activity in the home, as much mental stimulation, as much physical activity you can give the dog. That's critical. Does the dog usually chew when you're home, or does he chew when you leave?
No, he chews when we go to bed too. He chews the sheets.
Okay, so here's what you need to do. Whatever time you go to bed, if let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock, you party animals, let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock, at 9:30, he gets an aerobic class right then and there. Tucker him out before you go to sleep. I want you to get him the toys, and I want you to do something different with them. I want you to go out today and buy a dozen toys for the dog. I want you to put down 6 at the same time. Leave them down just for 2 days. Then pick them up, put the new ones down. After 2 days, pick the new ones up, put the old ones back again. Keep rotating the toys on a regular basis. That's going to be real beneficial as well. The other thing I would recommend that you do, if he seems to be really anxious at night, and that's when he's doing a lot of the chewing, find 1 or 2 toys that you only put down at night before you go to sleep, so he's focused on those and not so focused on chewing other things in the house like your sheets. That's going to make all the difference in the world. So increased
I put the toys in. I have toys in the bed for him, and he actually has a box that he goes and helps himself to all the toys.
Gloria, here's what I just said to do. I don't care how many toys he has. I want you to buy him new ones and rotate them. That's number one. Number two, I don't care if he takes his toys out of the box himself or you pick them up for him. I want you to find 1 or 2 toys that he loves, but he never gets except when you go to sleep. I don't mean the ones that are around all the time. I don't mean the ones he picks out himself. I'm suggesting you get a couple of toys that you only put down when you go to sleep or when you leave him. That's going to resolve it. Tired dogs sleep, they don't chew. So number one, increase the physical activity, the mental activity, rotate the toys, use those special toys at night. That's going to make a big difference for you. Now, the only thing I want to check with you, make sure from your vet that his teeth and his gums are in good shape. Sometimes dogs and cats that are excessive chewers have pain in their gums. And by the way, 85% of dogs and cats will develop some type of dental or periodontal disease by the time they're just 3 years old. So let's make sure the teeth and gums are in good shape. Increase the exercise specifically before you go to bed. I want you to rotate those toys. Have a couple of special toys that you put down when you go to sleep. If you're consistent, let me tell you, stopping a dog from chewing to me is like going to a dentist and getting a cleaning. It's the most basic thing I can do. But you have to follow my advice to make sure it's going to work. I want you to follow what I suggested. I'm also going to put you on hold and send you a copy of how to get your dog to do what you want. Or you can go to my website. There's great articles there on chewing. It's important to understand that dogs learn through association. So when I say to someone, put down 2 special toys that he only gets at night, that doesn't mean, Gloria, that he goes and gets his own toys. It doesn't mean it's the toys around the house. I mean, it's 2 special toys that he only gets before you go to sleep. That's going to make a difference. A copy of the book on its way. Go to the website in the meantime, thepetshow.com. It might take a couple of weeks for the book to get there. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Here's the scenario, and I got to take a break. Then we'll get to all your calls, Ronnie, Ruth, Joy, Kim, and Betty. When someone calls me on this show, and I say to them, listen, here's what I'm recommending that you do. It doesn't always work the first time. Sometimes you have to call me back. There's no such thing as the perfect response. However, if I'm suggesting something to you, and it's something you haven't tried, before you debate me on whether you're giving the dog other things, at least give it a try. It's kind of like I know what I'm doing, ego aside. So if you follow the advice, as I said, chewing is the most basic thing I can do. And I gave you the 4 basic reasons: lack of exercise, boredom, lack of stimulation. Sometimes they can go through a latent teething stage, especially a dog like this, probably separated from its litter mates too young, bought him over the internet, got him in a parking lot. God knows what this poor dog went through. Probably never had the opportunity to chew on anything, toys or nothing when he was a puppy, so therefore anything's game to him. That's why I'm trying to make that reverse work for you. Give it a shot. Follow my advice. Call me back in a couple of weeks, and I promise you won't have to buy any more sheets. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number, 866-870-5752. Let me take a quick break here. When we come back, we got Kim, we got Betty, we got Joy, we got Ruth, we got Ronnie. 866-870-KRLA. That is the phone number. But right now, I want you guys to listen to me very And we're back on the Pet Show. I want to get to as many calls as I can. Let me start out with my friend Joy in Woodland Hills. Then we got Kim and Ruth and Ronnie and Betty. Hey Joy, welcome to the show.
Hey Warren, good morning, good afternoon.
How are you today, my friend who never says no?
You're so sweet. I'm doing okay. The reason I'm calling today is not about a pet problem that I'm having, but I wanted to send out a plea to your listeners, to anybody that perhaps watched the news broadcast last night on Channel 7 about my vet's office that was broken into yesterday in the wee early hours of the morning. All Animals Veterinary Hospital, who has been just wonderful with us. They took care of, my tiny dog, did his surgery, etc. They were broken into around 2 o'clock yesterday morning in the wee early hours, and they, 2 young kids, it looked like. It was a smash and grab, came in, did not steal any drugs, did not ransack the hospital, but they walked out with 5 parrots. Now, these were beloved parrots, 2 of which were clients' parrots who were there for treatment and boarding, and the other 3 were personal parrots. And normally I wouldn't call into you asking for your viewers to keep eyes open, but one of those parrots was very special to us. His name was Kermit, and whenever we would come into the hospital, he would sit on top of Tiny's head. And you know how gigantic Tiny was. For those of your listeners that
his
don't
head
know
was so big he could have a flock of birds on his head.
Yeah, he was huge. Tiny was my pit bull mastiff who was 150 pounds, and he would walk in there and plunk on the floor, and Kermit would literally just come and sit on top of his head, and Tiny would not do a single thing.
So, Joy, let me get a handle on it. Do you know what type of parrots they were?
They were all, macaws. I believe that they were, they were 4 African grays, 1 double-headed Amazon.
Okay, the African grays are just the best talking parrots in the world. They're just absolutely amazing. If you burp once in front of an African gray, he's going to burp for the next 50 years. There's no doubt in my mind. But here's the scenario, okay? Number one is it's bad enough that they broke in and stole these parrots. That's horrendous. They should go to jail for life. Number 2, yesterday was one of the coldest, windiest, draftiest day there is. Now, let me explain something about parrots. Parrots can, in fact, take cold weather. What they can take is draft and wind. So by stealing these birds on any day, but especially a day like yesterday, he is jeopardizing the life of these birds. And that makes me crazy. So here's what I want to do. If do you want to give out an email address or an address if anyone hears and knows anything, Joy?
Sure. They can very easily contact me because I'm online, as you know, into the wee early hours of the morning. My direct email for my rescue is rescuemeincorporated@yahoo.com. The word incorporated is spelled out in their entirety. I have 24-hour-a-day access to my veterinarian. I can call him if we get some kind of a tip that comes in.
And what area was this in? Well, I know it was in the valley, but what part of the valley?
It's in Calabasas.
In Calabasas, okay.
It's just off of the 101 freeway in Calabasas. It's called All Animals Veterinary Hospital. And again, they've just been wonderful to us, to our rescue animals. And, I just want to, let me just preface that when they broke in, they didn't come in with cages. They came in with backpacks. Yeah. And they stuffed 5 birds into that. First of all,
obviously their goal or objective is probably to sell or whatever. So anyway, the bottom line is, go to rescuemeincorporated.org. Rescuemeincorporated.org. If you know of anyone or if you hear of anything about these birds, let's get these birds back to their guardians where they belong, and let's get these people prosecuted for what they've done. Joy, as always,
Thank you.
No, as always. always your mind is always in terms of the animals first. That's why I adore you the way I do. Anyway,
I greatly appreciate you giving me the opportunity to get this information out to your listeners. And from what I understand, there's a big parrot show this weekend somewhere in Los Angeles, and my vet and his staff are going to be there looking. So, again, thank you so very much.
Oh, Joy, my pleasure. We'll speak soon. If anyone knows or sees or hears about people trying to sell parrots, what kind of person can go in there and steal someone else's animal? That's why it makes me crazy with these French bulldogs that are being stolen on a regular basis as well. It just absolutely makes me nuts. The phone number here, 866-870-KRLA. Let me take another call here. We're going to go to Kim, and then we have Ronnie, and we have Ruth, and we have Betty. But right now, let's go to Kim in Seal Beach. Hey, Kim, welcome to the show.
Hi. Can I give you a little background on the dog first?
Sure, go ahead.
So we lost our Chihuahua of 19 years, and I was looking for a dog for my daughter. She has Down syndrome. So we wanted an older dog, and we were going around to all the fosters, and they found great dogs for her. And she kept saying, not my dog, not my dog. So there's a foster called Foster Fail Adoptions. They have dogs in Ensenada. And this lady said, I have her dog. When we first met the dog, she was growling at me. Kiki got down on her hands and knees, went up to the dog. They've been inseparable for 2 weeks. The dog is already potty trained. I'm teaching her sign language. The only issue is separation anxiety. And I've tried a lot of your tricks so far. I even leave the TV on to a Spanish station thinking it'd make her feel like home. And my husband is going through chemo. And we leave in the morning, and she just howls. Okay. So if you have any... I know it's only been 2 weeks, but if you have maybe some tricks that I can do.
Well, here's the scenario, and in my heart, and I feel for your husband. I know what he's going through. Anyway, here's the bottom line, Kim. I don't know what this dog has been through. The fact that the dog is a little bit older and wound up at a shelter where he did, or a rescue where he did, indicates to me that he was either abandoned, let loose, whatever. So therefore, he comes into your home.
She was abused.
Okay, but he comes into your home. He's treated incredibly well, incredibly bonded with your child, and that's important. But whatever happens is when you leave, his assumption is, because dogs learn through association, his assumption that the last people, when they left, they never came back. So what we want to do is, even when you're home with him, I want you to start just going into another room for a minute or two and close the door. When you leave, I don't want you to say, goodbye, we love you. I know that's what you want to say. Just walk out and go. And when you come back, just walk in, wait a couple of minutes before you give him all this positive attention. Find a couple of items that he only gets when you leave. That would be beneficial and increase the exercise factor. One of the things about separation anxiety is I don't necessarily know that your dog is suffering with separation anxiety as much as he's going through what we call abandonment issues. His fear is not being by himself. His fear is that you left and you may not come back. That's why it's so critical to start leaving him for really short periods of time. Go out the back door, come in the front door, go to another room. I know it's not easy, but let me tell you, you've only had the dog for a couple of weeks. It takes some dogs a month, 2 months, 3 months. I've had dogs that have taken me a year after they've been abused to really decompress. But let me explain something. Once they're decompressed, this dog is going to be the dog of a lifetime for you. Let me tell you that. Just be a little bit more patient, a little bit more understanding. I know it's difficult between your child and your husband going through the chemo, and there's a lot of different things going on and different things going on within your home, which is also a little confusing from the dog's perspective. But if you follow my advice...
But she's already proved She's proved what she is. My daughter was perseverating more and showing some more autistic-like behaviors, and she didn't want to read, and she was just repeating things. Since we've had the dog, she talks to the dog. She reads to the dog. Those behaviors have literally gone away.
Years ago, I did a strong study with the University of Pennsylvania and Haverford State Hospital on the use of dogs and cats for autism and as well as schizophrenic adults. It's amazing the turnarounds I've seen. over my years, hundreds and hundreds. It's amazing the turnarounds I've seen. So this is a snag, okay? The snag is the dog has a little abandonment issue, separation anxiety. Follow my advice. You're going to love me Monday. You might be mad at me on Wednesday. You'll love me again on Thursday. But within a couple of weeks, you'll send me a bottle of champagne, I promise.
I'm going to do it.
Kim, do you have a copy of my book?
Actually, I have a copy of How to Get Your Cat to Do What It Wants, How to Get Your Dog to Do What It Wants. I do. I've been following you for years.
Go to the book. I want you to read on the separation anxiety. Also, if you go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, my name, Warren Eckstein, I did a whole thing there on separation anxiety as well. I'm going to put you on hold right now. I'm going to send you a jar of my own Hugs and Kisses supplements. And I'm so glad to see that your daughter's made some really, really good changes since the dog. And it's just the beginning. It's only been 2 weeks. I'm telling you, the bond between your daughter and the bond between the dog you rescued, it's going to come together, and it's going to be an incredibly beautiful, harmonious relationship for many, many years. 866-870-KRLA, the phone number. Quick break, then right back to your calls. I'm Warren Eckstein. This is The Pet Show. And we are back on the Pet Show. I'm Warren Eckstein. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you have the opportunity to spend some time cuddling up with your pets, watching reruns of Lassie or Rin Tin Tin. So what I plan on doing later today, getting into bed with Molly and Willie. And I don't know what I'm going to watch. I might watch Yellowstone. Who knows? Let me give you the, I'm going to try to get to everyone on there, Betty, Ronnie, Ruth, and John. But let me give you guys the phone number for my network show, Radio America. It starts at 1 o'clock as soon as I get off the air here. Write this number down in case I don't get to your call right now. You guys will be my first calls on the network show. It's the same type of show. I give away the same gifts. The phone number is 877-725-8255. 877-725-8255. I'll give you that number again, but right now let me get back to the phone lines here, and let's go to my friend Ronnie in North Hollywood. Hey, Ronnie, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hey, how you doing, Warren?
I'm doing good, Ronnie. How about you?
I was calling in regard to dogs sticking their heads out the window.
Yeah.
I have a friend who had a German Shepherd that went deaf from sticking his head out the window.
Do you know exactly what happened? What caused the deafness?
Well, I can only imagine that if you stick your head out the window, the high frequencies that the wind puts out as your head is going through it is likely what did it. If you stick your head out the window sometimes and try it.
No, my head's staying inside. But anyway, the interesting part about it, Ronnie, is that when a dog sticks their head out of the window, it's things like that. This dog went deaf. My heart breaks, but I'm sure the dog had a great life after that if the friend was a friend of yours. But there are eye problems and other problems. And I don't understand why people would jeopardize or take the opportunity to jeopardize their dog when we know that it can be dangerous. I just like the person who says the person who tells me, listen, my dog listens to me all the time. I never put the dog on a leash. And then a year or two later, I get, but that one time he ran into the car, that one time there was a dog,
right.
that one time there was this. I love my dogs too much. And let me tell you something. Over the years, I've trained some of the most incredible dogs doing some of the most incredible things. I was the first person in the state of New York to have a complete drug license. I had every drug available. Don't take me wrong, it wasn't for me, okay? But I had every drug available because of my expertise in teaching dogs to sniff out drugs. So I understand them from the inside out. It's been my entire life. And people that will take a chance. Denise will say to me something, Warren, you're a little crazy. I am. Yes, I am. And this is exactly why. I hear the horror stories every single day, and therefore I overcompensate by maybe being a little bit too much of a helicopter parent with my own guys, Molly and Willie. So anyway, Ronnie, what kind of pets do you have?
Oh, I have a cat. And Warren, before we hang up, I wanted to ask you, are you planning on holding another remote event like you did at Westlake Village? Because I attended that and met Joey and was just amazed by the wave machine where the dogs were surfing.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Yeah, Joey's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
We were, you know what? We're in the process of maybe talking about one now. I'll keep you guys posted. I love getting out and doing remotes. I love meeting you guys in person. Got to be honest with you, Ronnie, I like meeting your dogs and cats a lot more, but meeting you guys is pretty good as well. Anyway, listen, Ronnie, don't go anywhere. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to send you some Lucy pet food for your cat, and I do appreciate that phone call. Let me take a break. We'll try to get to some more calls when we come back. If not, I will give you that number, and you guys will be my first calls on the network show, and I'll give you some great gifts. But right now, I am bragging because it is the new year, and now is exactly And we are back on the Pet Show on Warren Eckstein. Here's the deal. Betty, you got a great question. Betty's questions, I've got a question about my grandson's dog that was trained as a police dog. I definitely want to get to you. Also, John in North Hollywood, I want to get to you, and all those other callers. Write this number down. 877-725-8255. John, start calling that number. Betty, start calling that number. In about 2 minutes, you'll be my first callers up there. I will take your calls. It's the same type of show. I give away the same type of gifts. So write this number down. The only difference is that show goes all over the United States, Canada, even goes to Guam. It's for Radio America. Write this number down. You can start calling at 1 o'clock. Please be patient. It's going into Washington, D.C., so write this number down. And if you get through, a great gift will be on its way. And Betty and John, I'll get to your calls first, I promise. 877-725-8255, 877-725-8255. Two things. I post a lot of information during the week because I can't get it out all on a Saturday. You should start following my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. I share a lot of information here. On my new Facebook page, since I've been hacked, write it down, like it. Accept you as my friend. It's facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. Facebook.com/Warren Pet Talk. Till next week, keep your pets dry. Keep them inside. Make sure there's no dangers out there when you take them for a walk. Give all of them a big hug and a kiss for you. A special one between the ears for me. I'm Warren Eckstein, and thank you. I mean, really, thank you for listening to The Pet Show.